Hello and welcome, friends. I'm David, your guide here at Vintage and Rustic, where we dive into the cozy world of shabby chic, farmhouse, and antique-inspired decorating. Today, I'm excited to take you on a gentle, meandering journey into the world of Ralph Lauren aesthetic farmhouse decor. When we think of the perfect farmhouse retreat, Ralph Lauren style often comes to mind. It's that beautifully relaxed blend of casual elegance, rustic textures, and timeless charm. Today, we're focusing especially on the magic of red gingham and the fresh bloom of spring style, and how you can weave it all into your own inviting home. Picture soft, natural light spilling across a room adorned with cozy linen slipcovers, distressed wood tables, vintage wicker baskets, and of course, that classic red and white gingham that feels like a warm hug from the past. These elements aren't just about looks. They're about creating a feeling, a sense of belonging and timeless comfort. Whether you live in a countryside cottage or a city loft, incorporating Ralph Lauren farmhouse ideas can instantly ground your space, making it welcoming for both family and friends. Textures like weathered wood, linen curtains, cotton throws, and vintage ironstone pottery layer effortlessly, creating a space that feels both curated and naturally evolved over time. As we move deeper into the look, imagine a sun-dappled breakfast nook where red gingham curtains flutter slightly in the spring breeze. That classic pattern brings instant cheer and speaks of easy, joyful living. Layering gingham with other vintage-inspired fabrics, like floral chintz or faded ticking stripes, can create a collected, lived-in look that feels authentic. Ralph Lauren's spring aesthetic also leans heavily into fresh flowers. Think wild daisies, sprigs of lavender, and mason jars full of apple blossoms, which add a spontaneous beauty to farmhouse interiors. Antique finds like weathered picture frames, hand-thrown pottery, or a beloved chip paint armoire tell their own stories and work beautifully alongside new pieces that nod to the past. Muted color palettes, soft whites, warm taupes, sage greens, and gentle blues anchor the room, allowing the vibrant red gingham to pop without overwhelming the senses. Adding elements like leather-bound books, vintage quilts, and cast iron candle holders ties everything together, offering texture and history. The key is balance, mixing patterns, materials, and colors in a way that feels relaxed but intentional, never overly styled. Another delightful aspect of Ralph Lauren's farmhouse aesthetic is the love of personal touches and the importance of storytelling through decor. In a Ralph Lauren-inspired space, every item seems to have a history, whether real or imagined. Family heirlooms, antique market treasures, or even new items chosen with care can all be part of the story. A weathered trunk at the foot of the bed, perhaps draped with a red gingham throw, evokes memories of travel and adventure. A gallery wall of black and white family photos adds a deep layer of warmth and personalization. In spring, decorating with nature's bounty, bowls of lemons, baskets of fresh eggs, sprigs of budding branches, infuses life into the home without needing to overthink the process. As we begin to wind down our cozy chat today, I want to remind you that embracing Ralph Lauren's aesthetic farmhouse decor isn't about replicating a magazine spread. It's about creating a feeling, a sanctuary. Spring is the perfect time to refresh your spaces with simple, soulful touches. A new gingham pillow here, a rustic wreath of fresh greenery there, or a cozy corner reimagined with a vintage rocking chair and a hand-stitched quilt. The goal is to create an atmosphere where you and your guests immediately feel at ease, where the air smells faintly of fresh flowers and baked goods, and where every detail, from the ticking striped napkins to the red gingham apron hanging in the kitchen, speaks of thoughtfulness and heart. Remember that the beauty of farmhouse decor lies in its ability to celebrate life's simple pleasures. Whether it's a sunbeam falling across a worn wood floor or the way the breeze lifts a sheer linen curtain, these little moments are what make a house truly a home. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today here at Vintage and Rustic. I hope you found inspiration to bring a touch of Ralph Lauren's timeless farmhouse style into your own home this spring. Whether through the cheerful charm of red gingham, the authenticity of vintage finds, or the fresh breath of nature's own decorating magic. If you enjoyed this relaxed, dreamy walk through aesthetic farmhouse ideas, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving this video a like, and sharing your own favorite vintage decorating touches in the comments. Here at Vintage and Rustic, we're building a community of dreamers, doers, and lovers of all things warm, worn, and wonderful. Until next time, keep creating spaces that tell your story, and may your home always be filled with beauty, comfort, and joy.